So we continue with our lessons as we try to look at how to answer questions in the exam before. What is the major characteristic feature of an acid? So the question says, what is the major characteristic feature of an acid? So when it comes to an acid, remember an acid is a substance that produces hydrogen ions as the only positively charged ion. So the major characteristic feature is that an acid, we can say it produces hydrogen. It produces hydrogen ions, in aqueous solution. So that's the main characteristic feature, and it is because of these hydrogen ions that gives it its characteristic property. Explain what is meant by each of the following terms a weak acid. What is a weak acid? A weak acid is one that partially, so you can use the word, the one that partially ionizes in water. So an acid that partially, that's the word there, ionizing is in water, we call it as being a weak acid. What about on the other hand, a strong acid? Well, a strong acid is one that completely ionizes in water. In other words, it completely splits up into the positive and negative ions. Then C says write equation to show the ionization of dilute sulfuric acid. So remember sulfuric acid, SO4, this is actually a very strong acid which is in aqueous. So because it's a strong acid, we use just one arrow. It will produce hydrogen ions and it will produce sulfate ions. Don't forget to write the charges that they possess and balancing it up. How many hydrogens are here? 2. So you need to put up 2 there. Then that is actually balanced. So a strong acid here, sulfuric acid, is actually a strong acid. Ethanoic acid, CH3COOH, is actually an example of a weak acid. In other words, all carboxylic acid are actually weak acid. So now when you are writing, so you see here they never gave you the formula of sulfuric acid or ethanoic acid, so you need to know how to write these formulas. So because this one undergoes partial ionization, you use double arrows to indicate that it is actually partially ionizes. It can reverse. So this will create hydrogen ions, but it will also create what we call ethanoate ion, and these are in aqueous. This is self-balance, so you didn't need to balance it up. Hopefully, it's making sense, and I'm trying to help you in as much as you revise as you are writing this year 2026 or any other years to come. It will help you to revise. Let's move on to B5. Please watch out as I try to come and do question number B5.